I'm Nate Lind, and I help people interested in buying or selling online businesses get the transaction done without the deal falling apart. If you're looking to buy or sell online businesses, then be sure to keep tuning in for more videos like this one. Be sure to subscribe and hit the bell for notifications about new videos and interviews. And introduce yourself in the comments. Are you a buyer or a seller? Enjoy the interview.
First start off with some of these profit boosting tips to share with you guys. And basically, when it comes to profit boosting, there's two ways to do it. You can increase revenue, right? Juice the sales, or you can cut your expenses. I mean, it's not complicated. It's not pretty science. It's pretty simple. There's the two halves of the equations here. And so I'm going to talk a little bit about both of these halves here with you guys to share some insights. So one of the ways that we see clients boosting sales is by implementing technologies or tools that allow them to take advantage of upsell, downsell, basically funnel creation. A lot of people have set up a store. They've got their products on there. But again, going back to the McDonald's reference, they never ask people, would you like fries with that? Right? And it's one of the simplest ways to add revenue right to your bottom line is just asking somebody if they want it. Oh, by the way, would you like this?
Yes. If you're selling anything online, you don't have, would you like fries with that? Would you like to have fries with that?
Yeah.
Whatever that is for your business, you must do that because you've already got a buyer. Now offer them something else.
Yeah, they've already committed to making a purchase, and how hard is it to just offer? And so some people don't have the technologies, they're not familiar with it. There's a lot of different systems out there. I've worked with several of them. There's a few of them that I prefer because they add some additional flexibility, but there's tons of different plugins. That's one of the great things. And again, I'm talking primarily about Shopify e-commerce stores, just because it's simple. So some of the ones that I work with, CartHook, Funnel Builder, Zipify, Recharge, and there's a bunch of other ones out there. They all have their own little bells and whistles. Some of them different costs, some of them more expensive. Some of them charge percentage of transactions. So there's sometimes a pretty big cost there. The one that I actually like to work with most is called Zipify, and so I'm going to walk through that one a little bit more specifically.
Shout out to Ezra Firestone.
Yep, he's done some really great things, and I've used his technology with a lot of my clients. Both on the upsell, downsell funnel, but then it also opens up some huge cost-saving options for them that's super simple to do. And so that's one of the reasons why I really like that technology. And then I found out recently that they've actually made the transition to be part of Shopify's native platform. So it's right within their platform. So it's, a lot of the other technologies are outside of it, and so it's not quite as smooth or seamless. But I think for me, that's the hands down one of the best solutions out there. And you don't have to worry about it going away because it's native into the system. So hands down, best thing I think you can do. And then the other thing you could do to increase revenue is you can look at expanding into new offer structures. Some people don't offer any type of subscription or ongoing content or something else. You've got your customer, they like your product, they're engaged with your brand or your products. How do you re-engage them, keep them on? And you don't have to do this in an aggressive way, but just offering an option for subscription or content ongoing allows you to continue to stay engaged and continue to increase incremental revenue with those customers. So that's a great tool. And again, Shopify is not really great on having a recurring structure built right in, but some of these tools allow you to do that a little bit more simply and seamlessly. And then another area is to open up new product categories. So, would you like fries with that? Well, every business, again, has different fries that they can offer, right? So if you're doing health and beauty products, offering content around that, subscription, digital content, access to newsletter, tips and tricks, whatever it is, sometimes can be goodwill, but sometimes you can be more specific about having premium content or freemium content that expands into a paid subscription or paid product or paid, anything. So those are the ways we kind of look at options for helping clients increase revenue. When it comes to cutting cost, again, Shopify is fantastic, super simple, easy to set up. And as long as you're using Stripe, you're great. But if you want to use something outside of Stripe, they penalize you for it. And the reason is, they have this great platform. The way they make revenue is by getting a cut from Stripe for payment processing. And so if they're going to lose that revenue, then they're going to charge you a fee to use another payment processor. And so
get it from you one way or another.
They're going to try to get it from you one way or another. And actually, this is where the opportunity is for me that I figured out how to really add a lot of value to clients in this technology with a stack that I'm talking about. Because what a lot of people don't realize, and I'll get into this a little bit more, but the best way to save a ton of money, a good chunk of money, is by moving your payment processing from the flat rate, basically 3% that Shopify or Stripe and PayPal charge, to moving to what I call an interchange or pass-through or cost-plus type of pricing model. They have a number of different names to them. But the bottom line, it's wholesale rates. So the way the issuing side of the credit card payment processing space works is when a bank issues a credit card to a consumer, they get paid every time that consumer uses it. That's why they're trying to get credit cards out to you all the time. They want you to use it. And if you pay an annual fee, if you pay interest on carrying a balance, that's all gravy to them, right? They want you using that card because they receive compensation in the form of interchange for every single transaction. So that's why you've got high-level rewards cards, premium cards. They want you to use it. They want you to use it regularly. But the person or the company or the groups that pay for that are the merchants. And so how they do that is they bundle it in to interchange. And so on PayPal or Stripe's model, they bundle that all into a flat single tier of transactions, and then they charge a surcharge if you do like international, multi-currency, that kind of stuff. But the beautiful thing, and what a lot of people don't realize about interchange, is that if you look at your transaction data, and I looked at this for years and years, almost universally about half of the credit card transactions are done in debit card as a type of card. So debit card's tied to your checking account. It's not really any type of credit. There's not risk there. It's cash from the consumer's bank. So there's actually very, very low interchange cost associated with those types of transactions. I'm talking as low as like 0.05%. 0.05%. I mean, that's basically nothing, right? And you're paying 3%. So who's making the difference? Well, Stripe's making the difference. And so what I love to do with merchants that are doing some significant volume is move them into a model where they can save a significant amount of cost or expense from payment processing by moving to a pricing model that rewards them for the low cost that their consumers are using on the interchange cost. So typically I see clients saving about 0.5% on processing fees. That's an easy. Sometimes it's a lot more. So sometimes it's close to 1%, but usually 0.5% on processing. So what does that mean? Basically, for every $1 million in sales that you generate, if you're doing it a year, it's $5,000 a month. If you're doing it in a year, it's $5,000 a year. If you're doing it every month, it's $5,000 every month. I mean, you can pick up some employees. You can pick up a lot of nice things with that kind of money, and especially with the focus of going through acquisition and sales. I mean, that's money right to your bottom line, right? So every way that you can do to increase revenue or reduce costs, those are all things that go right to the profitability of your exit.
Net earnings, right there.
Net earnings, yeah, right there. Yep.
That's a pickup on the buy side or on the sell side, whoever gets to that first. So,
and then, I've seen a lot of people go through different struggles. And so beyond just cutting costs, there's also the benefit of having redundancy. I'm a big fan of having, not all your eggs in one basket. I mean, Nate, you and I have both heard and seen and experienced people who've had their accounts frozen, whether it's PayPal or Stripe or whoever. And there's nothing worse than having funds frozen. You've got all your expenses due. You've got things that are coming up. You got media that you can't buy. And there's no cash. You don't know if they're going to let it go. You can't get a hold of a live person. You don't even know what's the reason why they're holding it, what scared them off, all those types of things. And so what I also like about the solution that we talk about in this stack specifically is that it doesn't stop you from having to use Stripe, but it allows you to instantly and immediately have access to redundancy should you ever need it, even if you're not interested in saving some money on the processing fees. So it's definitely a huge shout out and huge fan of Zipify. Great solution.
Yeah, you can literally like hot swap in a new merchant account, like a hard drive that failed, like just and then put
away you go.
Back in.
Yep.
There you go.
Yep. So I'm going to basically walk through what's the typical order flow, because I'm going to explain how this tool works in case people aren't familiar with it, and then how it allows them to just swap that out seamlessly. So the normal order flow, right, is you go to your store, you put your products in the cart, and then you go to checkout. They ask you for your customer information. They ask you for your shipping method, and then you put your payment details in, and Stripe completes the transaction and the checkout for you. End of sale, right? So what Zipify and CardHook and some of these other tools do is they basically slip right in between the funnel that Shopify has by plugging the cart right in at the end of the cart before they go to provide their customer information. So it slips right into there, and boom, still collect the same information, still customer information, shipping method, etc. But instead of going to Stripe, it can go to Stripe, or it can go to your own payment merchant account, or multiple merchant accounts, or anything you want to do from that payments perspective. So it adds a lot of redundancy right there. And the thing that's really beautiful about that is because it's, Zipify specifically is integrated right into Shopify's native solution, they're not penalizing you for processing done outside of the system. The way Zipify charges is they're designed really for this upsell downsell funnel. And so they just charge a fee on the upsell or the downsell. So you get the benefit of increased revenue as it converts. So you're basically only paying for what you get. And it opens a door to do a tremendous amount of savings on the payment processing by moving to an Interchange Plus instead of having to be stuck on Stripe. So it's a fantastic way to just do it. It's very seamless, very smooth, very easy. And then it also gives you the power to be able to do upsell and downsell funnels. So upsell one, would you like fries with that? And you don't want fries with that, no problem. How about a Coke, right? Or, hey, would you like to supersize that, right? So whatever it is, and this can be as complex or as simple. They offer really sweet split testing, so you can try multiple variations to see what really converts better and to really dial it in to maximize your revenue. And then takes you to the thank you page. All the while, this whole process with coming into this is it doesn't require the customer add their card data again once they enter it in the first time. It's just, would you like to add this to your order? Yes or no, and it's done. The transaction takes place and away you go. So it's a smooth, beautiful flow that just works really nicely, and it opens the door to some really significant savings. So
super cool. Yep. And
yeah,
it's seamless to the customer. They're not having to enter anything else. Like the whole idea behind this is you take more friction away from the customer. Like it's not making this any harder for them, not asking for any more information. It's just giving them, just giving them an additional option. Would you like fries with that? Would you like to upsize your drink? You want a fillet of fish? Okay, you don't like a fillet of fish. What about the McRib? That's that sort of stuff.
Yeah. And you can I've seen some very, very complex flows and some very, very simple ones. And I mean, again, just asking the question, you're going to see a bump in your sales. You're going to see some additional revenue. And I love that they're a performance-based solution where you pay for it when customers use it. So it's directly measurable. Any result that you can measure very simply and directly, I love that. So
thanks for watching. If you liked this video, be sure to subscribe and tell me what you thought about it in the comments. Your comments encourage me to continue posting videos, and they give me ideas about what to post next. I read and reply to every single one. Also, if you own an online business and you're curious to how much it's worth, click the link below to get a free business valuation with a member of our team. Who knows? It may even be me you're